Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's
We
right.
are live.
What's up,
Tom, I don't
Brian?
know if other people can see, but you kind of froze up on us a little
Live
bit
and
there.
live. Really?
Yeah, you're
Am I still
freezing up on
frozen?
me. You're good now.
Am I good? How good am I?
At the moment, you're good.
Okay. Well, if I'm not good, it seems like my internet must be a little wonky today. So if I get all messed up, just interrupt me, take over, and I'll spotlight you, and you can talk for a while. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
That's a super plan. All right. Yeah, I can see my internet. I'm getting a signal that says connection is unstable. Alas. So, dude, we're here for this the first cold day for several winters. Am I coming through okay?
On and off. You said it was the first cold day for several winters. Is
It was
that
the
right?
first cold day for several winters. Brian, why don't you just talk a minute for about the list, and I'm going to try to adjust my internet situation.
Sure. All right. So today we're talking about the money is in the blank. And for many of you who've been online for quite some time, we're sure you've heard the expression, the money is in the list. And that's what we're going to talk more about today, is really having this mindset of focusing your business and having the idea that everything you do in your business, the purpose of that is to serve the purpose of building your list. I made a little chart here. I'll share with everybody. Many of you may know a company called Agora Publishing, $1 billion plus financial newsletter publisher, and one of the most successful direct response marketers in our time. I worked with Early to Rise, which was a division of Agora back in the day, and we were more like an online business, make money type training business. And one of the things we taught was the Agora model. So I made a little nifty diagram that kind of sums that up a little bit. And just at the top there, what you can see at the top is you have all your different sources of traffic. So I just wrote like SEO, social, paid. Quite honestly, there was no such thing as social back then. Then you see all the traffic gets driven to either a free or a paid newsletter. But that's the key there, is that everything they did, all the traffic was focused on building a list, either a buyer's list or a list of free people. And then the final thing I want to point out on this diagram is that after the list was built, daily emails went out. Right here, you're looking at a $1 billion business model. Really is that simple. But the idea is that the main focus was on building that list. And I tell them, and I see you're black.
I am. I switched my internet around a little bit. Maybe it'll help. So, yeah. So this is. So the money is in the list. This is an idea I first heard about. I don't remember the time that I first heard it, but in my early days of studying internet marketing, in the early 2000s, I was like out of college, but trying to scrape money together, trying to figure out something that would make more money for the time that I was spending than some crappy local job, right? Because I dropped out of college. My dad went into the hospital. He had a triple upper aortal aneurysm. He was locked in a chemical coma. And at the end of my junior year, I was like, okay, I'm not going to go back to school when my dad is going through this thing. He survived, thank God. But that's when I became a hypnotherapist, was after I dropped out of school, because I wanted to continue my research that I was doing and in college, but in the real world. And so I became a hypnotherapist, and I was looking all over the places for ways to make money. And I was doing like drop ship opportunities and I was doing like American Family Publishing, like these weird direct mail pyramid schemes. And I was like, at one point I was like knocking on doors in ski areas, selling selling advertising to a website that had no traffic for skicoupons.com and trying to make that work. And like, I had a lot of things that I tried to do to make money, some kind of online, some kind of not online, that weren't working, that there's a lot of work. And ultimately I didn't get any leverage and I didn't get any traction. And then I had my first real, so I read Sean Casey's old school ebook, Mining Gold on the Internet. Okay.
I remember that.
And my belief about that story is that my future mentor, Joshua Shafran, wrote the sales letter and created the sales system for Sean on Mining Gold on the Internet, I believe is how that worked. And so I bought Sean Casey's book, Mining Gold on the Internet, and I probably read that 45 times. And that's probably, I should go reread that book. That would actually be pretty funny. Because that's probably where I was first exposed to the idea of the money is in the list. And back then, that it was a PDF, it was an ebook, and it was mostly about how to make money selling other people's stuff as an affiliate. And the easiest way to sell something as an affiliate is promote this very book, right? And like, that was fine, but I wanted to sell salsa on the internet or hypnosis. And I was like, how the heck do I translate this affiliate marketing garbage to like promoting somebody else's ebook to selling my own stuff? I couldn't figure it out. I went on to work with several different people who had lists that were bigger than mine. I realized working with people with lists, because I didn't have a list, working with people with lists was a smarter move. Collaborating with people with lists was a smarter move than me just like going it alone. And so I created a product called Think Like Joe Vitale.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Oh, it was old school. It was before, it was like the early stages where I did Think Like Joe Vitale, Think Like Sean Casey, and there was another guy, I don't ever happen to name Chip. I'm not going to mention his last name, just out of respect, but did these interview series with these people, and we were able to sell Think Like Sean Casey, Sean Casey's list, and we were able to sell Think Like Joe Vitale to Joe Vitale's list. And there were hypnosis products that basically hypnotized you in order to, we would send a survey out to their lists. Then people would tell us what they wanted to, what they admired about their, the traits of the guru. And then I would interview them about those topics. And then I would, using NLP, I would do NLP modeling sessions to reverse engineer their thought process that they used to create the state that allowed them to do what they did very well as an entrepreneur. And then I created a series of hypnosis sessions to hypnotize the customers to think, act, and behave more like their guru, their marketing guru. People loved it. But the problem was only a small percentage of their list bought that particular product. And nobody else cared. So like I was able to build a small customer list, but not enough to pay the bills long term. Because I gave the guru half the money. Right? And so eventually I learned I really need to build my own list. Sorry, I have a popcorn kernel stuck in my tooth. I ate some popcorn last night. It's like, you know what it feels like when you get a popcorn kernel up there. Anyway, I think I got it out. So, so I sold these products early in my marketing career, and they didn't really go very far. And then I teamed up with Nitro Marketing, Matt Gill and Kevin Wilkie.
Oh yeah.
And what happened was they were looking for they were doing Nitro projects, And they basically invented the webinar, by the way. Okay. They called it a webcast, and they were the very first people to do webcasts. They created their own webcast software, and they were the very first people to do webcasts and sell. It's kind of like a stage sales presentation, except with a PowerPoint online, right? First people to do that.
Doing video upsells was one of their first things too.
And the one-click upsells that they used to manually process in the background. Yeah, it's like all the stuff. The Nitro Quattro system back in the day.
Yep.
So good. And they were rolling out like a new product every month or so. Or at least that's what it seemed like to me. And they teamed up with Jack Zufelt, that he's still around, is a very, very well-known personal development mindset guy. And he needed help with his marketing. They needed content. They wanted to create, and so they would team up with content creators, and they'd build the marketing systems and make everybody a ton of money. And so they were doing one with Jack Zufelt, and I applied to be the project manager because I was looking to get my foot in the door somewhere. And they put an email out to their list saying they were looking for a project manager. I'm like, I'm going to go for this. I know I'm a hypnotist. I understand personal development. I checked out Jack Zufelt. I was like, this guy is cool. I think it was DNA of Success is his name.
Yeah, DNA.
And so I applied and I worked my ass off, and I went through like 3 rounds of interviews, and I got accepted for the position. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then on my acceptance interview, I turned it down because I realized that I wasn't going to be able to genuinely stay focused on selling somebody else's stuff in the long term. I was not project manager material for somebody else's stuff. I knew I wouldn't stick to it. I wasn't passionate enough about it. And so I said, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Please choose someone else. But I would love to work with you on a different project. And that's when I pitched them on the Nitro marketing mindset. And at that point, those guys were selling Joe Vitale, a lot of Joe Vitale stuff for Joe. And like they were making bank, right? They had they were like top dog in the internet marketing scene at that point. And so I was jacked to team up with them, and we did the Nitro marketing mindset, which is the same process as Think Like Joe Vitale, and so on. But it was a much bigger list, and I didn't get a copy of the customer list but I got royalties, and so that's how I got my first $13,000 check from the internet, was a royalty check on that project with Nitro. And that's when it really hit home for me, which is the next month, it was like a $4,500 check. And the next month it was like a $2,200 check. And the next month it was like $900, and then it was gone. And I was like, because it wasn't a smash hit. It wasn't a home run. It was a moderately successful launch, but the hook wasn't that good. The product, people weren't really looking for it, and so we sold a bunch of it, but it wasn't like a major win. So what I learned from that was, that's right, Kathleen, the money is in the list. And so nice. I like your little head peeking out there. So I made a bunch of money, but it wasn't sustainable. And so I was still working full-time as a hypnotherapist. Sometimes I would take night shift hours at the Vermont Bread Company just to squeeze in a little extra cash, because they paid a lot, but like you had to be worried about your fingers getting chopped off and stuff because it's factory work. And I was like, I need to build my own list. That's the only way I'm going to break free here. The only way I'm going to break free is if I build my own list. The only way to break free is to build your own list. And that's what I realized. And I was right. Super stoked. Not always. I'm often not right. 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 All of us, we all make wrong choices, but like really choosing to focus on the email list changed my life. It legitimately changed my life. It meant the amount of money that I make was no longer tied to the number of hours I put in. And I wasn't looking to be a slacker. I was looking to make more money. Okay. I wasn't looking to work less. I was looking to make my time more valuable and make my actions more valuable. So if you want the hours that if you're not a slacker, okay, this is not a call out to like people. This is not like, oh, work 20 minutes a day and like live in the Bahamas. No, that's BS. I'm not saying you have to work 80 hours a week, but sometimes you have to work 80 hours a week. I'm saying that if you have a strong work ethic, you're a serious entrepreneur, you have something to sell, you have a message, you have some people you want to help, you want to go out there and do something important, meaningful, and with significance, then you're going to be able to scrape by doing it the way that you're doing it now because you're a hard worker and you're helping people. But if you do that same amount of work, but you focus on building and then consistently growing and cultivating your email list, there's almost no limit to how much money you can make, because now you're on your way to actually creating a business and creating a team and creating something that exists beyond you. And so many of us are stuck. Solopreneurs are stuck just trading time for money. And the only way out is to keep working consistently and try to save some money and try to put it into your 401k and try to invest and hope the stock market doesn't crash and try to do crypto and hope that doesn't burn on you. Like, if you consistently build your list every single day and you focus on connecting with it and getting better at serving that list for the rest of your business life, you will consistently make more and more and more and more and more money with each and every day, week, and month that passes. And you will have layer upon layer upon layer. If you do it right, you'll have layer upon layer upon layer of recurring passive revenue that you can create over time as well. It's not instantaneous, but as you layer it up over time, it's incredible. So the money is in the list. Kathleen, you're totally correct. What do you have to say?
Put our names up.
Good monologue. What?
We haven't put our names up in a while.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Need to stroke the ego.
You can't have. I see why you did that. Tell me, do you want to know the fastest and easiest way to make money online?
Yes, I do.
Go to tacobell.com and hit the apply button. There you have it.
Dude. Where did that come from? So what I'd like to know is, for those of you who are watching, why haven't you started building your list? I'd like to hear about it in the comments. Like, in all seriousness, why haven't you started building your list? Or why aren't you actively focused on building your list faster? And the reason I'm asking you is because I want to answer your questions around this, right? Help you get unblocked and move you forward. Why? Well, so those are the two questions. Why haven't you started building your list yet? Genuinely curious. If you have any questions about that, please ask them in the comments. And why aren't you focused on building your list faster? Brian, one of the things that I've seen is that when I ask people how often should you email your list, or how often do you email your list, there's one answer. Actually, there's one answer. I'm curious if any of our viewers can guess in the comments what the answer to this question is. What's the most common answer to the question, how often do you email your list? Now, Brian, I have some constructive criticism for you that's come up a few times actually in our chats.
About me?
I don't think you're going to take it too personally, and I think it will be helpful.
Okay.
get a Sharpie.
Oh, you know what? Believe it or not, a Sharpie is on my to-do list.
And the
Because it's
reason
harder
is
to see the pens. Oh, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know the answer yet.
we have a couple
I
of
know
people
the answer.
we have a couple people who have some challenging eyesight issues, and they have a hard time reading your pen notes. And so I've
Yes.
seen that come up a few times. I keep on meaning to mention it to you, and now I'm mentioning it to you.
Remember, I used to use a Sharpie, but then my Sharpie died.
That's a good subject line.
My Sharpie died.
So, what is the most common answer to the question, how often do you email your list?
I think I know it.
What do you think it is, Brian? Not enough. It's true, not enough. So we've been discussing this question about why don't people email their list, and people will tell you they're really afraid of people unsubscribing. They don't want to annoy people.
Yep.
But one thing that all of our email empire students do is live stream every single day. And it's also one of the biggest challenges that people have, that most people have to really overcome, is this resistance to live streaming. And I was really examining it. I was like, why do people resist sending more emails out to their list when they know that's the thing that's going to make them money? Why do people resist building their list when they know that's the thing that's going to make them money? Why do people what the heck, you know? And so I think it's the same reason people don't like sales. They don't like the idea of becoming a salesperson, and they have a chip on their shoulder when someone tries to sell them something. It's all about rejection. Nobody likes being rejected. None of us. I mean, there could be, maybe somebody out there does, but they'd be really messed up. So if you don't like rejection and you're a salesperson, you need to learn how to cope with the rejection and move on pretty quickly and not have it mess you up psychologically and emotionally. And what I found is some of the most successful, most often, some of the most successful direct response marketing entrepreneurs that I've met, like when I say successful, I mean all the people that are millionaires, multimillionaires, and have been for years, and not just flash in the pan guys and gals. Almost all of them have some hardcore sales experience where they got emotionally tough as nails. So they were able to separate themselves, their own ego and their feelings, from the rejection they were experiencing in a business context. When you can do that successfully, you remain much more jovial, much more happy. Rejection is part of the process. The question is, what's my conversion rate and how can I improve it? Not, oh, poor me, only have a 5% conversion rate or 10% conversion. So how do I get better? How do I get better? What can I learn from this, right? And when you don't send enough emails to your list, it's not because you're afraid people are going to unsubscribe. You're afraid people are going to reject you, okay? And if you're not regularly live streaming, regularly getting on camera, regularly podcasting, regularly doing webinars, all or some of these things, regularly getting out there in front of your existing list, your existing clients, your existing customers, and reconnecting with them, and regularly getting out there in front of new people. Of course, the easiest way of doing this for most people is with live streaming, right? You can turn the camera on anytime, anywhere, talk about your topic, you're done. And it's basically a free advertisement you can put out there. We're doing it right now, right? Yet, I also have enormous resistance to consistent live streaming. Brian definitely has resistance to it, and both of us successfully have teamed up and become accountable to each other to make this wonderful, almost every day, newscaster style split screen live stream we do about email marketing and list building. And the more we do it, the more consistent we get, and the more consistent we get, the more viewers we get, and the more viewers we get, the bigger our list gets, and the bigger our list gets, the more we can send them. So everything grows. Point being, your email list, whether it exists or not, is a gold mine. It's a treasure trove. It's an absolute honey hole if you build it, grow it, and cultivate it and care about it. It is the epicenter of your business. Your subscribers, your customers, and your clients that you stay in touch with every single day are the most important people in your life, aside from your immediate family and friends and team for your business. These are the lifeblood of your business and your personal income. If you focus on building the list, caring for the list, loving the list, and doing everything you can to help your list lead and live better lives, they will give you so much money to help them because you are helping them. Do you get it? It is the gold mine. Everything else, all social media is a traffic source to help you build your list. All of your products and services, whether they're yours that you're offering or someone else's as an affiliate or whatever, or however you're offering it, all of the products and services that you're offering are in service of helping them lead better lives. If you focus on that, you will consistently make more money, and your business will grow over the years because you're caring for your people.
We'll show it to them one more time. Tell them this
one more time.
The $1 billion business model. There you have it. Take your screenshot. Go in 3, 2, 1. Out of here.
So good. So good. So do you guys have any, before we wrap, because we got some work to do today, before we wrap, do you guys have any questions about email marketing or list building at all? I would love to hear what they are. I would love to hear what they are. You know, Brian, I'm just going to write these down. Some questions are popping into my mind right now that I feel are probably very relevant to people, that would also be good live stream topics to do. So what's the best autoresponder to use, right? Probably a really good topic. What's your, what niche are you in? What do you sell? Single, opt in, or double? Those are some pretty good questions, I think. Do you guys have any more questions? Anybody, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay, if you have any questions that you'd like to have answered about how to build your list, why building your list is important, any resistance or confusion you have around the concept, please, by all means, ask. We would be more than happy to share our thoughts. I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. Brian is almost as long, and we're happy to help. Cool, dude. I think that's all for today.
All right.
Rock and roll. Thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Over and out.